everybody, and welcome to John Talks Indian Cinema on this October 31st, Halloween. That's right, I'm filming this on Halloween, although this is not a scary Halloween movie that I am about to review. I will do that in my recommendations, though. I do want to recommend what I think is one of the scariest films I've ever seen. That's a little tease right there. You can think about what it is. Okay, so first of all, the last two movies I did are getting a little more views than normal. Not in the thousands, but at least, some of the films I've been reviewing are getting like 70 views. These are getting a couple hundred, which is good because my subscriptions have definitely plateaued and I need to get them back up. And I'm getting some advice from some of you on how I can do that, and I greatly appreciate that. Okay. Um, there's a little controversy about the last film I reviewed, which was Ilya. Wait, oh man, I can't even remember the name now because I think I had a translated. Yeah, it's Ila Visa Punchira, but I said something else, and I was corrected, El Koshi. In good fun, I hope, but I was corrected, and I apologize for that. That's what when I watched it, that was the title. The title I originally put was the title, and someone you guys have gave me what it's supposed to say, so I fixed it. So thank you for that. Okay, so the film that I am going to be reviewing today is Sonchiriya from 2019. And this was recommended by Dio Goriadav. No, Dio Goriadav, 8399. Um, and this film was directed by Abhishek Chaubey. It starred Sushant Singh Rajput, who I've seen in MS Dhoni, Detective Byamakesh Bakshi, Bhumi Pednekar, or Pednekar, who was in Bad Hai Do, and I also saw in The Romantics. Manoj Bajpayee, who was in Gangs of Wasseypur, and played the same character, Man Singh, in Bandit Queen, which I have reviewed. And before I get to the rest of the cast, I do want to say this. As I was watching this film, I was thinking to myself, this felt like the Bandit Queen. It had that same kind of vibe to it. And lo and behold, not only is this guy playing the same character, but the Bandit Queen shows up, not played by the same actress, by the way. Ranvir Shorey, who was EK the Tiger and Tiger 3, and Ashutosh Rana, who played a bad guy in this, was in Pathan War Tiger 3. And by the way, when I give the credits of these actors, it's films that I've seen. So that's just so you know. I know their filmography is much bigger than that. It's just the films that I've seen. So this film, first of all, Sonchiriya, which is the name of the little girl in this film, which I did not figure out for a long time, is also a great Indian bustard bird. And that's a theme that plays throughout the movie, the bird theme. This film is about the rebels of Chambal. I also read that it was a bomb. It was a box office disaster, and the movie themes. And this was my reaction to this film is a lot like my reaction to Bandit Queen. Powerful, impactful, um, well made, but a tough watch. And I'm not saying that like it was tough because it was bad. It's just a hard film to watch. And that's Bandit Queen was like that. Now, Bandit Queen was about how often she got raped throughout the movie, which was horrible. This, not quite that, although there is that in it. So let's get to the story. The story is about a group of rebels. Now, here's the other thing. Until the Bandit Queen character shows up, I really had no idea what time frame this was set in. So I really wasn't sure what was happening. Why were they rebelling against the cops? And this is in Chambal. So I didn't really understand that at the beginning. But there's a group of rebels who, at one point, how do I? They're trying to avoid the police, the cops. This inspector, in fact, what was his name? Inspector Gujar, who is relentlessly attacking them, and they're trying to get away. So there's a big gang run by Mansingh, and they need money. And he seems to be benevolent. These rebels, he seems to be a good leader, and he wants to rob this village. And when he goes in the village, he's got a megaphone. He says, "We're not here to hurt you, so please just give us what we want, and we'll leave. We won't bother anybody." So as the movie progresses, there's a big shootout with the cops, an ambush, and that's another thing in this film that happens a lot. They get ambushed a lot, and the leader gets killed. And now they have to all take off. And every time there's an ambush, they lose a few more people. And then there's a battle between the second in command, played by Ranvir Shorey, who is very good in this, by the way. But it absolutely is um, uh, Sushant Singh Rajput's film. He plays Lakna, and he's got a conscience. He realizes that the futility of this, and there's also they reference an event that happened that they're paying a penance for. In fact, the film opens up with a close up of an animal. You don't know what it is. You see an eye, and you see flies around this animal, and then you see what it is. It's a dead snake, and that's another theme that plays throughout this movie. In fact, the line, because they feel like they're cursed because of something they did, which you find out later on. The line that they use throughout this film is the mice are preyed on by the snake, and the snake is preyed on by the vulture. Um, so they feel they're cursed, and indeed, that's a bit foreshadowing about this film. So now after this ambush where they lose the leader, now there's a little power struggle. How should we do this? They're still trying to get away. They're trying to get to a place to worship. I can't remember the name of it, and then end up in Dopul, I think it was. Um, so now, again, through another ambush happens, and well, wait, no, let me back up. So they find a woman and a young girl, and she is the child is Sonchiriya, and they're hiding in this the ravine, they call it the ravines, and they say they're of the same caste, Thakurs, although later it's shown that they're not. But the young girl, who I think is 12, was raped, and she's got problems from that. And the woman, who is not her mother, she says it's her sister, is trying to get to a hospital, even though the family is after them, which is a side story. Um, so again, the movie progresses. Now, this inspector, who's an evil guy, and you find out through a flashback, at least this is what I think I caught. So the reason why they feel cursed and why they're trying to get redemption is they they robbed a village similar to the first scene at night, and it's really shot well, and it's dark, and they only have flashlights. Um, And at one point, there's a group of children hiding in a room, and one of the kids has firecrackers in his back pocket. Well, you don't have to be a brilliant script writer to know what's going to happen. They get lit, goes off, they start firing into the room, and they kill children. And in one of the opening scenes, you see a young girl in a white dress with blood all over it, like a hallucination. Mansingh sees it, and Lakna sees it. No one else sees it. So it's a specter, it's a ghost, whatever you want to call it. Well, she was there. So now the girl's family shows up, and there's another battle there. Now the rebels that have stuck together are separated because the second in command wants to give the women to the family, and Lakna wants to take them away. One to save the girl, but one to save them because she knows that the husband, not so much the husband, but her son definitely wants to kill them, and the father. But what you also find out, and I know I'm bouncing around, but I don't know how else to do this. You find out that the girl was raped by the husband's grandfather. And she, and her name was Indu, killed him. That's why the family's after him. So she got revenge, which she is entitled to. Now they want revenge on her. And Vakil wants to give her up to them for that purpose. And Lakna, right? Lakna doesn't want that to happen. Now that causes a rift between the rebels. Now they separate. So now the film turns into we need to get this girl to the hospital in Dopul. And it's that journey. And that's how they end up hooking up. Well, first they find this boss. It's another side story. They kidnap the boss to bring to the bandit queen. Now, I don't know it's the bandit queen that they're bringing them to till she comes out and she's got the red sash around her head. And right away I said, "Oh my God, I know who that is." And I think her name was Fulia. I think that's what her name was. Um, and she helps them, and they do eventually get to the hospital. Now, the whole time, the inspector, they're getting ambushed. The inspector, is after them. And I think when they kidnapped, well, excuse me, when they flash back to when they shot the kids, there was one thing that I saw. Now, you tell me if I'm right, if I picked this up or not. In one of the houses that the rebels were running through before they killed the children, there's a photo of the inspector. So I think that it was either his family or his village, whatever it was, he was a part of it. That's why he's going after them as hard as he is. And he's merciless. Merciless. He's showing no mercy for them. Really bad. In fact, one of the cops that's with him thinks what he's doing isn't right. And that plays later on. So in the last scene, uh, Lochner gets them to the hospital. In essence, saves them. Just as he's there, now he's got a rifle slung to his back. The cops show up, including this inspector. By the way, the rebels reconciled, and Vakil ended up saving them and allowed them to get away from an ambush at the loss of his life and the rest of the rebels' life. So at the end, he's already been shot, and he's in the hospital courtyard, and he sees this inspector who's been after him the whole movie, but the inspector doesn't see him. He takes out his rifle, points it at him, but doesn't shoot him. Puts the rifle down. Now the cop turns around, sees him, pulls out his gun, boom, 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 shoots him, kills him right there. And then they do kind of a recap. They show what happened. The girl survived. The woman survived. All the rebels were killed. And the thing at the end they did, which it was surprising to me, was the inspector's all proud of himself because he pretty much wiped them all out. And he's sitting in the front seat. And he's got a big smug look on his face. And the cop that's been a little iffy about how he's been doing it pulls out his rifle and just shoots him. And then it fades to black. Um, so now there's things that happen in the film. Now I've told you the story in a condensed form. But you know what? I don't even to get into some things that I really liked. But here's the thing. I'm going to give the story. I'm going to give the story a 3. No, I'll give the story a four. It seemed no, I got to give it a three. I have to give it a three because it seemed so much like the storytelling in Bandit Queen, almost from a different perspective. Now, again, that doesn't, when I rate the story, it doesn't mean, well, I thought the movie was a three. That's not what it means. The story was very similar to Bandit Queen in a lot of respects. Okay, so that's why I give it a three. Now, it's a difficult film to watch. Um, it's very it's very gritty, very grounded, very realistic. The acting, and I'll get to performances in a second. But it's the type of film, and I was really into it because the whole thing. There's a film, and I'm not going to recommend this film, but there's a film called The Warriors that came out in the '70s about a New York street gang that is trying to get away because all the gangs in New York think they killed this big leader. So every gang in New York is after them. And the whole film is them getting back to Coney Island, their base of operations. That's what this film kind of reminded me of. All they're trying to do is get this journey. And in a way, you could tell because they were also trying to surrender to the police because the police, not the inspector, the bad guy, but the police offered them a deal and they talk about it, what they're going to do after they get out of jail, and move. And anytime you see that, they're not going to make it. That's just what always happens. So as they go through this journey, most of them are not going to make it. You're hoping that they do, but you know they don't. Like Saving Private Ryan, same thing. So in that regard, it's a tough watch because they do a good job of explaining the relationships between them all, and there's a certain camaraderie between the rebels that's developed through the movie. And then as they die, you kind of feel it a little bit. And it's inevitable. And I think like with Lochner, the reason why he didn't kill the police officer, the inspector, because he was accepting his fate for what he did with when they killed the children by mistake. So he accepted his fate. And he also knew he saved the girl, the little girl, who they had a great relationship throughout the movie, too. It was very cute the way they did that. But it is a tough watch. It's not as tough as Bandit Queen was. That was tougher because of what they did to that woman. This was tough because you knew it was kind of inevitable what was happening. Now, as far as performances go, I thought that I gave the performances a four. I thought they were all solid, and the and as I mentioned earlier, I think Rajput as Lakna carried the movie. He's the conscience of the movie. Um, he's the one that's got to make this journey happen. He's the protector of the women, and I thought he was wonderful in this, and so was Ranvir Shorey as the second in command, going from loyal to um, he wanted to kill Lakna. He also finds out, and I didn't mention this, but he finds out that they thought they were betrayed by somebody within their um, rebel gang, when in actuality they walk into an ambush. Man Singh walks into an ambush that he knew was going to happen, and they flash back to that where the person that was going to betray him couldn't betray him and tells him everything, and he does it anyway. And the reason is because of redemption. Whatever's going to happen, they deserve it. And second, Vakil finds that out, so he's not going to be mad at Lakna anymore. But the way he played it, and the little girl was adorable, even though she's pretty ravaged for most of the film, but she's got cute scenes with Lakna. Man Singh, I thought he was good. He was like the mentor to everybody. So I gave the performances a four. I thought they were very grounded, nothing over the top. And they're hungry, they're tired, they're doing a lot of walking, they're scared. And the side characters I thought were good too. Now, as far as music goes, there wasn't a lot of music, and frankly, if there were musical numbers in this, I think I would have been disappointed. The film doesn't call for it. There was really three musics that that are really worth talking about. The first song, as they were escaping from the first ambush, the song is not Lord Vishu's Avatar. That was the song. The second one was after they split up. There was Vakil's brother ends up getting killed, and he was siding with Lakna. He gets killed, so there's a funeral pyre, and they show that intercut with scenes of Lakna and his group going the other way, and that was a song. And I only caught this dark heart of mine. And then the third song, they're escaping on a boat before they find the Bandit Queen, and Indu is singing a song. And again, this goes back to birds. Golden Bird is the name of the song, and the little girl is the golden bird. And the music, they here's the thing about the music that I loved in this film, and I gave the music a 4. There's not a lot of it, and they did this one thing, and I don't know what instrument it was, but this one thing, whenever there's tension, it almost sounds like a guitar rubbing across the strings. That's the only way I can describe it. But what they did in a lot of, and this was amazing, the way they filmed this. In some of the big action scenes, there was no sound other than the music. So you heard no, if they were shooting a gun, you didn't hear it. All you heard the music. And sometimes it was slow motion, but dead silence. It was very effective and really added to the you know, uh, to the intensity of these scenes. They also did this thing where they would shoot it from overhead. So you see, the rebels here and the cops surrounding them, but up from above, really high. So you see everybody. I thought that was really cool too. So in my overall verdict for this movie, I gave the movie a 4. Now, this is the type of movie I would never watch it again because it's a hard watch. And again, Bandit Queen was like that. Saving Private Ryan, I've seen it once, and brilliant movie, absolutely loved it. I cannot watch it again because of certain scenes in that movie. And this is one of those. It's just a hard film to watch. It was I really enjoyed it. I like what the director was trying to do. I love the way it was shot. Again, the performances were excellent, but it's a hard watch. It's not the type of film that I search out for. You know me, I like the upbeat stuff. I always have. Um, but but that was I really enjoyed the story. It's a small story. It's a quiet movie. It really is the way it was shot. But yeah, I really liked it. So check it out if you have not seen it. If you have, let me know what you think in the comment section. Okay. Okay. So that's my review of that one. Now my Halloween. That's right. My Halloween recommendation. Okay. So this might be. This isn't what you might normally think of a horror movie. But what I tried to do was, I don't like slasher films. I don't find them scary. I find them gross. Now, I will tell you, the original Halloween was a scary movie because I never seen anything like that. They got the girl in the foreground. He's in the back. Michael Myers is in the background, out of focus. All of a sudden, he stands up. The audience is screaming. But for sheer, like, I remember feeling really scared. And this was, how old would I have been? I would have been 9. I would have been 15. Not too old, but not too young either. But I was scared in this movie. And the film that I am going to recommend for a scary film is 1979 Alien. Now you're thinking science fiction. No, it was a haunted house movie, if you really think about it. Directed by Ridley Scott. And I'm going to give you the cast because it was a great cast. Tom Skerritt, Sigourney Weaver, Harry Dean Stanton, John Hurt, Ian Holm, Yaphet Kotto, Veronica Cartwright. um, Geiger's design of the xenomorph, the almost organic spaceship. Um, this movie, once they go down to the planet and the face hugger, in fact, just to show you how big a fan I am, I'm going to throw up a picture of you. This is, I actually have um, um, a face hugger egg prop down in my theater room and a face hugger. And if you look at the bottom left, I also have a tracker from Aliens. I have a pulse rifle too, a replica prop, and a Nerf prop. I should have showed you it, but so I'm a big fan of. I actually, you know what? I love both the movies. They're so different. Alien and Aliens. I don't like any of the other movies, to be honest with you. The first two, but the first one, I remember how frightening that movie was. One, once the chest burster comes out and the blood goes everywhere, right? And then for the rest of the film, because if you think about that film, you don't see the alien all that much. You just don't, right? And I remember the scene where Tom Skerritt, Dallas, is going through the ducts with the flamethrower. And he's got a tracker on him. And they're looking at him and they're looking at the alien. And, he's like, well, where is it? Where is it? And it's creepy. And all we've got is the flashlight. And all of a sudden he turns around and you see the xenomorph like this, right? Fast, quick. That's it. And there are other scenes too, but it was just the tension of the film once the alien, that little thing, takes off, and um, what's going to happen, and it's a scary film because it's dark. It's, if you remember, there seems to be water everywhere and chains dangling. Um, it was just a scary, scary movie. And I remember that. I remember it vividly thinking, oh my God, this is so tense. But that's a scary movie. And if you want to be scared, see it. Because the beauty and what was so different about Aliens is they showed the xenomorphs a lot. In this, they didn't. And it was always a quick cut, or you see the tail from up above. It's always quick though, because they only had one. But love the movie. Very scary. And if you get a chance and haven't seen it, check it out. Don't expect Aliens, though. It's not Aliens. Very different than that. Very different film. But I really loved it. Okay. So that's my recommendation for Halloween. I hope you had a good look at. I got all these helmets too. I should have worn something. I should have put on something for the show, right? Right? I should have. My Doctor Doom helmet, I should have done. I want to wear that in one of these shows. Okay. Hey, listen, do me a favor. If you get a chance and you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe, hit the notification button, and please, for the love of God, hit the like button. I don't get it. I say this every time. You guys watch it, but you don't like it. Now, I can't believe you really don't like it. Maybe you're just I don't know. It's too much effort to hit the like button. Hey, look, it makes a big difference to the channel. It might not mean anything to you. It means a lot to me. So please do that. I'm getting some recommendations too, which I appreciate. Again, I'm trying to find stuff that I can stream. A lot of you guys recommend stuff. I just can't watch it anywhere. I'm still waiting to see Loca. That's not at a theater yet, so I think I'm going to have to stream it. There's another one's coming out, Des Ayers or something like that. I'm going to see if that's coming out in the theater. It's supposed to open this weekend. We'll see. But keep them coming, will ya? I need something that's going to go viral. Okay? I'm going to do a few trailer reactions too coming up, so look out for those, all right? So that's it. I hope you liked this. I hope you had a happy Halloween, and I'll talk to you soon on John Talks Indian Cinema with another 15 to 20-ish minute movie review, a trailer reaction, a song reaction, or who knows, something else. Okay? We'll talk to you soon. Thanks for watching, everybody.